Hi, this is John Hansmeyer, and this is the movie report. The movie I'm going to be reviewing for you guys today is Guardians of the Galaxy. This movie is starring Chris Pratt, Bradley Cooper, and Vin Diesel. And this movie is about the life of Peter Quill. He's a bounty hunter, and his superhero name is known as Star-Lord. Now, when he steals this one item called the orb, he finds out that it's an item that's actually meant for Ronan, who is a man who wants to rule over the universe. And not only that, he wants to be able to try to have this thing in order to rule over it and have absolute power. And so when Star-Lord steals this item, he gets arrested, and he meets these band of misfits like Drax, Racoon, Groot, and Katari. And so they meet together at this prison, and they find out what the orb is meant for, and they want it bound together as one. And they're also known as Guardians of the Galaxy. And so they want to be able to bound together, and they want to be able to try to make sure that this orb is not going to be able to go to Ronan. And so eventually, as the movie goes on, they find out, hey, we can't make this person have this orb. And there's actually some really nice movie scenes in this. For example, there's some really nice touching scenes in this movie, like when Katari is getting sucked into space and she can't breathe. And Star-Lord grabs his mask and puts it on Katari. And she can breathe, but he can't, so his face freezes. And that's a really touching scene in this movie, because you really get to see the two characters develop. And not only that, you get to see them really just try to bound together as one and grow a genuine friendship. And there's also a really funny scene in this movie as well. Like, there's this one scene of where Star-Lord is told by Rocket Racoon to have this one leg stolen. And he asks this one man if he can have his leg. And it's kind of funny because the man's his reaction is, "You want my leg for what?" That's a really funny scene because you really it's just nonsense, and it makes no sense. And but overall, I really didn't like this movie that much. In fact, I kind of hated it. Those are the really two scenes I actually kind of liked a lot. And the rest of the movie I kind of hated because it was just it fell flat. Action in this movie fell flat. The jokes were not funny, and not only that, the movie's pacing was just too fast. At times, the movie was just really fast and really slow. It was just, most of the movie was just so fast to the point where the movie didn't know when to slow down. The movie needs to learn how to slow down in order to be free to take a breath. But in this movie, it's just so fast to the point where you don't know what the heck is going on, because you don't care. That's my point of what was going on. Not only that, the character development was really consistent. Some scenes you really got to know a lot about the characters, and some scenes you didn't. And that was an issue for me because I really wanted to get to know these characters. They were all very fascinating, very interesting. But they were just droughts of where they're just a character. You got to know nothing about them. They're just a cookie-cutter superhero. And that's the other issue of this movie, is it's a different type of genre of a movie. It had an original idea, but it fell into generic storytelling and cookie-cutter superheroes. This movie just really disappointed me, and the movie was just not that funny. I mean, there's one really stupid scene of where you get to see Katari and Star-Lord talking to each other, and Star-Lord is explaining to Katari about this one movie called Footloose, and there's this one man named Kevin Bacon, and he wants to teach all these people how to dance, and they don't want to dance because they have a bunch of sticks up their butt. And Katari asks him, why would they need a bunch of sticks up their butts? And everyone just laughs over that scene. They're like, oh, that's so funny. And I seriously don't get why everyone thinks this movie is so funny and so great. Why did the critics rank this movie at 90% out of 100% on Rotten Tomatoes? I mean, just because a majority of the people like it doesn't mean it's a great movie. And that's one of the issues I have with this movie is it had an original idea, but it just fell into the safe side of storytelling. I mean, that's one of the things that disappoints me about Marvel movies is it's constantly the same exact story. And even in a different universe, it's still the exact same story. And I just don't get it why they have to have the exact same story every single stinking time. I don't get it. I seriously don't get it. Another thing I didn't get about this movie is there was characters like actors like John C. Reilly or Glenn Close, two really good actors, two really good ones, and the director did not even use them in this movie. I mean, there are characters that could really carry this movie and make it a great one, but they weren't even used at all, and so it just was a disappointing movie that just was a huge letdown. And so I probably rank this movie a 1 out of 5 stars for it was just poor movie making, poor directing, and just generic storytelling. And the action was just really generic and just it didn't work for me. So that's my 5 cents on Guardians of the Galaxy, and I hope you guys have a good one.